Hello! Today we're going to present our paper, Apply Funnel Model to Design Thinking Process to 2020 DMI ADMC Conference. Today's presenters are myself, Sheng-Hung from MIT IDM program, and
Ziyuan from MIT Architecture Department.
we really appreciate our families, DMI, MIT labs, and people who fully support and sponsor this research project. I'm going to break down the presentation into 5 sections: project overview, literature review, our framework and its application, and the key takeaway. The purpose of the study is to increase the engagement level for users to participate in the context of design process. To incorporate the funnel model into the modified design thinking process to enable the designers as well as the users to co-create and co-design. We use one IoT product design project as an example to demonstrate how to apply the funnel model in the stages of research and ideation. Here are the 5 keywords: funnel model, participatory design, design thinking, co-creation, product design. The keywords are all interconnected, interrelated, and represent the essence of the study. Chapter 1, Introduction. The design process today is immersive, action-oriented experiences, usually involving engineers, manufacturer experts, social scientists, marketers, designers, and whoever else relevant to the problem, from Professor Justice. In the field of design, we've discussed about typical design thinking. In the field of research, we've applied the modified ZMAT. In the field of business, we've explored and summarized the learning by affinity diagram. So all 3 main components are created to increase and improve the user participation in the context of design process. Like I've mentioned before, the research process covers design thinking and our framework funnel model, and apply to IoT product as an example to illustrate the concept. Let's move on to Chapter 2, Related Works. Let's discuss about design thinking process first. The framework is from D-School. 6 interconnected hexagons emphasize, define, ideate, prototype, test, and assess, represent the interaction of design process. Especially in the first hexagon emphasize, they categorize into 3 sections: observe, engage, and immerse, which heavily touch on user engagement in the design process. Interaction Design Foundation also has their own interpretation of design thinking process: inspiration, ideation, and implementation. Double Diamond Framework, created by Design Council in 2004, consists of 4 steps: discover, define, develop, and deliver. Interestingly, they add engagement last year, the Big Gray Circle, to build the relationship between citizens, stakeholders, and partners. Classic and iconic design thinking process from IDEO highlight the converge and diverge design journey. Design thinking is a problem-solving process that focuses on the end users' needs and their experiences to generate better product solutions. From Crandall, how does design thinking integrate with other methodologies? From Beckman. Design thinking encouraged deep and critical thinking in a deliberative collective from an emphasis on staying the course to a result that served an end user, from Hamilton. So, above all the literature review and research we did, we summarized the typical design thinking process into 6 process modules: research, define, ideate, design, prototype, and refine. The dotted lines represent connection between process modules. We also did research about participatory design. Some keywords like engagement with users, co-design, integrate users' needs and understand them. Also, some toolkit that are created for participatory design, like HCD toolkit from IDEO, Creative Action Toolkit from Frog, etc. So this is a quick preview about funnel model. Based on the previous framework of typical design thinking process, we consider the journey both from design team and the user team. And we try to use funnel model to bridge the gap between each process modules In the scope of the project, we only focus on the transition between research and idea stage in order to define the suitable project brief and ask the right questions. Now, let's discuss about analysis research method, ZMAT, developed by Dr. Zeltman in 1990s. In a nutshell, ZMAT is to capture interviewees' abstract thinking and ideas through visuals and behaviors. In this study, the modified step is that instead of letting the interviewees to bring their own images, the researchers have already chosen a collection around like 35 images for them to select. Another analysis research method, affinity diagram, people also called KJ method. It's a project management tool that is commonly applied to organize and cluster the ideas and learnings. The reason for applying the modified affinity diagram is to help clarify the potential user needs by using the video and audio transcript as a way to conduct the qualitative interpretation. In this study, the modified step is to define 3 layers. Layer 1, principle level, layer 2, theme level, all the way to layer 3, keywords, is to help translate the participants' quotes to keywords that influence and inspire the design work.
Chapter 3, Funnel Model. Typical design thinking process enables the interviewees play an active part in the design decision-making process. The modified design thinking process in this diagram has been unfolded to 3 parts. The collaboration between design team and user group. Design journey from research to refinement. And the funnel model added between research and ideate stage. So, what is the difference between typical design thinking process and the one with funnel model? Shown in this comparison chart. Traditional design thinking process contains interconnected modules. However, the modified design thinking process with funnel model consists of interwoven stages, which enable more collaboration between design team and user groups. Let us dive deeper into the funnel model. Inserted into the define stage, funnel model consists of 4 steps. Step 1, recruit interviewees. Step 2, select participatory research tools. Step 3, conduct qualitative interpretations. Step 4, distill research insights. Chapter 4, Example Application. In this chapter, we will use an application to demonstrate how to use funnel model in the real design project. We take Smart Sleeper design as an example. This is a 3-month research project focusing on developing IoT in-home product. So let us go through the funnel model to see the magic of it. The step 1, recruit interviewees. We invited 5 user groups ranging from expert to extreme users to people who have never used the product before. You can see in this table, for example, participant 3, opinion leader, is the one who regularly uses the existing product in the market. After interview recruiting, we go to step 2, select participatory research tools. 10 design research tools were adjusted to satisfy the research needs. The tools range from semi-structured interview to home interviews. Throughout the interview process, the tools play a significant role in starting in-depth conversation with interviewees. The playful process also encourages interviewees to express their real feelings. So here, among 10 participatory research tools, we select 2 of them to explain. The first one, card sorting. We prepared several products and mood cards for interviewees to choose. The goal is to understand their attitudes towards the product and in which condition they will use it. So you can see in our result sample, even if we show the same picture, the interviewees choose totally different mode and scenario cards to depict their feelings. Another example is product storytelling. This tool helps design team to capture users' preference to design elements in existing products For example, we brought the sketches and sleepers to help interviewees to start their own story with dream shows and sleepers. Step 3. Conduct qualitative interpretation. With tons of quotes and video material collected from interviews, essential quotes are selected and interpreted for design team to get new design opportunities. In this example, we have concluded the material and summarized it into one design feature. Step 4. Distill research insights. A modified affinity diagram is used in this step. With 4 layers, the quotes and interpretations are filtered to keywords. These keywords help the design team to define the product features. Let's take a look at one example. With the help of keywords and insights, designers can better understand users' needs and find out the key feature of the product when we go to the edit stage. For 2 keywords, better shape and user behavior, lead design team to dig out the potential in parametric design. For another 2 keywords, compatibility and efficiency, several storyboards are created to depict the using scenario and interactions between existing IoT smart home products and the smart sleeper. Chapter 5. Summary and suggestions. When design team start to implement design research with funnel model, 3 suggestions will be helpful. The first one is to treat funnel model as an experimental and open design framework. It encourages designers to involve more user voice into the product design and defining process. The second is involving funnel model into an inclusive methodology. Design team should think about how might they use funnel model and apply it to client and investors group. To satisfy the specific needs of the interview, more adjusted tools are expected to be added into the process.
So now let's move on to a further study of the research. For the sake of time, I will focus on the first point. In the scope of the project, we only apply the funnel model between research and idea stage. So the diagram is shown above is how we envision the next version of the funnel model. Each funnel model for different stages, in principle, there are some similarities and overlaps. The main structure will remain the same, however, but the connection and condition between each stage are varied. It will affect the design of the funnel model. Further study can explore and experiment with different types of funnel model in terms of process, catering to the requirement of different stages. The second point, the 10 selected participatory research tools in the study, there are so many detailed procedures that needs to be addressed, prototype, and validate. Regarding to point 3, the resolution of the tracking device is very critical for us. It affects the result of the experiment, which will influence the analysis. For the further study, the technology needs to help capture the meaningful user walking trajectory. So this is our presentation. Thank you for listening. See you next time.